Everything that appears before you on this 13 November carries meaning. Nothing is random. The signs that surround you, the moments, the numbers, the words you hear repeatedly, the coincidences that seem too precise, they are not there by mistake. They are not accidents. They are reflections of your awareness. Life speaks in a language beyond words, and only those who are present enough can understand it. The more awake you are, the clearer this communication becomes. The 13 November energy is not about waiting for a miracle. It is about recognizing that the miracle is already happening around you in the smallest of details that you used to overlook. When you walk through life asleep, everything seems ordinary. You wake up, you move through routines, and you think you know what's happening. But when you begin to awaken, when awareness rises, suddenly the same world looks different. You begin to notice the timing of things, the way one event leads perfectly into another. You begin to feel that something larger is guiding you. This is what 13 November is reminding you of, that awareness is not about seeing something new, it's about seeing the same world with new eyes. Many people wait for a voice from the sky, for a sign that is extraordinary, glowing, and impossible to miss. But the truth is that life whispers, it doesn't shout. The signs are gentle, a phrase that repeats in a book, a number that appears again and again, a chance meeting that changes your energy. When you are not aware, you walk past these signs. You dismiss them as coincidences. But when awareness deepens, you start to sense that there are no coincidences, only connections that your old mind could not yet see. On this 13 November, pay attention. Every sound, every movement, every person you encounter has the potential to awaken you further. Life is showing you who you are through the patterns it sends your way. If you ignore them, the lessons return. If you listen, the path unfolds more smoothly. Awareness is the language of the universe, and silence is how you listen. When your mind is full of noise, of worry, of distraction, of judgment, the signs pass you by. But when your mind becomes still, you begin to hear what life has been trying to tell you all along. The purpose of this day is not to seek signs, but to recognize that you are already surrounded by them. Awareness is not a skill to learn, it is a state to remember. It is your original nature. When you become present enough, life reveals itself to you exactly as it is. You stop asking why things happen and begin to see how perfectly they align. This is the shift 13 November brings, a reminder that your life is not chaos, it is communication. Every thought you carry, every emotion you feed, vibrates into the world and returns to you in form. That's why the signs you see match your state of being. If your mind is heavy with doubt, you attract confusion. If your heart is open, you attract clarity. The universe mirrors you with absolute precision. It does not reward or punish, it reflects. So when you see signs repeating, instead of asking what they mean, look at what they are showing you about your current awareness. 13 November calls you to slow down, to see, to truly see, because everything around you is trying to wake you up. The more present you are, the more the world begins to speak. When you start to listen with awareness, you realize that even silence has messages. The rustle of the wind, the rhythm of your breath, the timing of an encounter, all are part of the same intelligence. Nothing is random, because you are not separate from what is happening. You are part of it. You are one with the flow that creates the signs. When you understand this, you no longer chase signs or beg for meaning. You live meaningfully. Every step you take, every choice you make becomes intentional. You walk with clarity instead of confusion. You stop asking for guidance because you realize you are the guidance. You stop looking outside and begin to trust the inside. That is the awakening 13 November brings, the awakening to your own awareness. To live in awareness is to live fully alive. It is to walk through the same world but feel it breathing with you. It is to look at the same sky but see the vastness within yourself. It is to experience time not as something passing, but as something unfolding exactly when it should. This is the wisdom of life, the rhythm of existence that 13 November wants you to recognize. So as this day unfolds, Stay awake. Watch how life speaks through the smallest signs, a word, a sound, a face, a feeling. Let your awareness become your guide. The more you trust it, the more the universe opens itself to you. The signs are not random, they are your reflection. They are the mirror of your consciousness. And when you finally understand that, you stop searching for messages, because you become the message itself. On this 13 November, the message is clear. Before you act, you must align. The world moves fast, and so do you. You are told to keep going, to push harder, to achieve more. But this constant motion without alignment creates noise. You lose direction. You begin to act not from awareness, but from impulse. And when your actions are not rooted in alignment, even great effort leads to emptiness. The 13 November energy is not asking you to stop moving. It is asking you to move with intention. It is the reminder that true strength is not in speed but in direction. When you are not aligned, your actions become reaction. You move because you feel pressure, because you fear missing out, because you think something outside you will bring peace inside you. But that kind of movement only drains energy. It disconnects you from your own center. You begin to live by the world's rhythm instead of your own. Alignment means coming back to that center before you take the next step. It means allowing silence to shape your choices, not fear. The 13 November carries the power to pull you inward, to realign thought, emotion, and action into one clear direction. When your thoughts go one way, your emotions another, and your actions follow neither, you live divided. That division creates confusion. You start to question everything, you start to doubt yourself. But the moment all three align, when what you think, what you feel, and what you do become one, you enter flow. And in that state, signs appear naturally. Life begins to cooperate with you, not resist you. This is the wisdom of 13 November. The universe cannot align with you until you align within yourself. So pause before you move. This pause is not weakness, it is power. It is the moment where clarity is born. Most people act to escape silence. They fear stillness because stillness reveals truth. But silence before action is where alignment happens. On this 13 November, silence is your teacher. It tells you which step is true and which is born of fear. It tells you when to wait and when to rise. You do not need to chase opportunities. When you are aligned, the right ones arrive without struggle. Alignment is the foundation of peace. When your actions are guided by awareness instead of restlessness, you no longer move in resistance. Life becomes lighter. Things begin to unfold with a quiet sense of timing. You stop pushing and yet you progress faster. You stop trying to control and yet everything falls into place. Our November teaches that you do not always need more effort. Sometimes you need more alignment. Every moment gives you two choices: to act out of fear or to act from clarity. Fear says, do it now or you'll lose it. Clarity says, wait until it feels right. Most choose fear because waiting feels uncomfortable. But alignment grows only in patience. You must give space for awareness to settle before you move. That is why so many feel lost. They confuse movement with progress, but only aligned movement brings real change. When you act in alignment, you feel peace even in uncertainty. You know your step is guided, even if you don't see the full path. You don't rush because you trust timing. You don't force because you trust flow. And this trust makes you powerful. On 13 November, life is calling you to stop chasing, stop doubting, and start aligning, to act from a space of deep knowing rather than constant needing. This is not inaction, this is intelligent action. You can always feel when something is aligned. There is no tension, there is no inner battle. The mind is quiet. The body feels open, the heart feels clear. That feeling is your compass. It is the signal that you are connected to truth. And every time you follow that feeling, life opens doors that force could never unlock. The 13 November reminds you that awareness is not about doing more, it's about doing what is right for your growth. To align before action means to become one with your purpose in each decision. It means not letting the noise of the world decide what is next for you. It means trusting your own rhythm, your own timing. When you move from that space, your actions become powerful because they carry the energy of truth. The smallest step, when aligned, has more strength than 1,000 unaligned efforts. The wisdom of 13 November is to act less from pressure and more from presence. To stop forcing life and start flowing with it. To understand that alignment is not about control, but about connection. When you are connected to your awareness, the universe mirrors that clarity. You stop looking for signs of approval because life itself becomes your sign. Everything begins to support your path. So as this day unfolds, don't rush, don't move because the world is moving. Move because your heart, your mind, and your spirit are united in one direction. Let this 13 November be the day you learn the power of alignment. Let it be the day you remember that your energy shapes your reality more than your effort ever could. When you align before you act, every action becomes sacred, every moment becomes purposeful, and every sign becomes a confirmation that you are walking exactly where you are meant to be. On this 13 November, understand this deeply. Life is not testing you, it is preparing you. The moments of struggle, the silence, the confusion you feel are not punishments, they are training. The universe does not give challenges to break you, it gives them to awaken you. Every delay, every rejection, every obstacle is shaping something inside you that success alone could never build. The pain is not random. The waiting is not wasted. Everything is serving a purpose that your present awareness cannot yet see. So many times you think you are being tested, that life is pushing you to your limits. But what if those limits are only illusions built by fear? What if 13 November is the reminder that you are being prepared to outgrow who you once were? When you see life from this awareness, the pressure you feel becomes sacred. It's no longer a weight, it's a forge. It's where your inner strength is molded, where your patience deepens, where your vision sharpens. Growth is never comfortable. And that is why the most important transformation happens in silence, not celebration. The preparation phase is always hidden. No one sees it, no one praises it, and often you don't even understand it yourself. But the universe prepares you in secret so that when your time arrives, you stand ready. On this 13 November, realize that everything you are going through is teaching you something essential, the art of trust. Trusting when nothing is clear. Trusting when every path seems closed. Trusting when all you have is faith in something unseen. This is the strength that preparation builds. Every season of your life has a purpose. When you are being prepared, you may feel lost, disconnected, or even forgotten. But the truth is, this is where awareness is tested, not your worth. The more you resist the process, the longer it takes. The more you surrender to it, the faster you evolve. 13 November carries the wisdom that preparation is not punishment. It is the slow construction of your inner foundation, the foundation that must be strong enough to hold the life you are asking for. If you receive what you want before you are ready, it will collapse under your own unpreparedness. That is why waiting is sacred. There is beauty in being shaped by silence. There is purpose in being refined through challenge. When life delays something, it is only aligning it with your readiness. You cannot force what is meant to unfold naturally. The universe works through timing, and timing works through awareness. That is the message this 13 November brings. Not everything delayed is denied. Some things are simply maturing within you before they appear outside of you. The real preparation happens internally. It is not about the circumstances around you, but the energy within you. You are being trained to stay centered even when chaos surrounds you. You are being taught to find stillness even when the world shakes. This inner control is the mark of one who is ready. Life is not interested in how much you can do. It is interested in how deeply you can remain aligned while doing it. That is what preparation creates, inner alignment under pressure. Think about how the strongest trees grow. They don't rush. Their roots go deep before their branches reach high. The same law applies to you. 13 November is the reminder that roots grow in darkness before the light ever touches them. So if you feel like nothing is moving, it is because something is taking shape below the surface. Your awareness, your discipline, your resilience, all of these are deepening quietly. This stage is not meant to impress the world. It is meant to build your foundation for what's coming next. When you understand that life is preparing you, you stop complaining about the waiting. You stop fearing the unknown. You begin to see that the universe is not against you, it is working through you. The difficulties of this 13 November are not here to block you but to polish you. Every hardship removes a layer of doubt. Every challenge burns away a part of the ego. Every delay cleanses your impatience. And as all this falls away, what remains is your true self, calm, grounded, and unshakable. The preparation stage is where you become real. It is where all false identities fade. It is where you realize that strength is not loud. It is quiet. That power is not control. It is clarity. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to show progress every day. You only need to stay aware, to stay open, to stay aligned. That is how preparation completes itself, not through force, but through faith. On this 13 November, let everything that feels uncertain remind you that you are in training. Let every delay remind you that timing is perfect. Let every closed door remind you that redirection is also protection. Nothing is wasted, nothing is random. The signs you see, the pauses you face, the struggles you carry, all are preparing you for the path your soul has already chosen. So do not rush the process. Honor it. Trust it. You are not being tested. You are being refined. You are being taught how to move through life with awareness, not fear. You are being molded into someone capable of handling the blessings that are already written for you. This 13 November is your reminder that everything is on time. Everything is preparing you for something greater. And when the preparation ends, you will understand why it had to be this way. Not because you were weak, but because you were chosen to grow stronger than before. On this 13 November, the message comes quietly, yet with undeniable strength. Trust the inner pull, that small voice inside you, that quiet sense of knowing that often appears without logic or reason, is not your imagination. It is your compass. It is the language of awareness guiding you toward what is meant for you. Most people ignore it because it doesn't make sense to the thinking mind. But life's truth rarely makes sense to logic. The path of awareness is not walked through reason. It is walked through trust. And 13 November calls you to trust what you feel more than what you fear. The inner pull never shouts. It whispers. It moves gently within you, a soft current beneath the noise of your thoughts. But because the world around you is loud, that whisper often gets buried. You begin to doubt it, to question it, to silence it. You start looking outside for signs, for permission, for direction. Yet the truest signs are the ones you feel within your own being. The more you listen to others, the more disconnected you become from your own truth. 13 November reminds you, silence is not emptiness. It is where the voice of direction lives. Trusting the inner pull is not about knowing every step ahead. It's about being aware enough to take the next one. The universe never gives you the full map, only the next direction. It's how you build faith. Each step guided by inner trust creates the next. You don't see the whole road because the road forms beneath your feet as you walk. This is why so many hesitate. They want to see certainty before they move. But 13 November carries a different teaching. Movement guided by awareness creates certainty. It's not the other way around. You must understand that the inner pull is your connection to life itself. It is the energy that flows through you, trying to lead you toward balance, toward purpose, toward awakening. When you go against it, life feels heavy. When you follow it, life begins to open. The right people appear, the right opportunities align, the right moments unfold. Nothing feels forced because you are no longer pushing. You are being guided. This is the natural rhythm of awareness. But to hear that rhythm, you must learn to trust silence. In silence, the noise of doubt fades, and what remains is truth. On 13 November, give yourself that silence. Stop seeking endless confirmation. Stop waiting for a sign to be louder than your intuition. The inner pull doesn't need to convince you. It only needs to be followed. Every time you ignore it, confusion grows. Every time you trust it, clarity expands. This is how awareness teaches, not through words but through experience. There would be moments when following the inner pull feels uncomfortable, even lonely, because truth often separates you from the crowd. It asks you to take paths that others don't understand. But that is the nature of growth. 13 November reminds you that your journey is not meant to be understood by everyone. It's meant to be lived by you. When you trust your pull, you stop needing validation. You stop chasing approval. You begin to walk your path, not theirs. Every time you listen to that quiet voice inside, you strengthen your awareness. It's like training a muscle. The more you trust it, the clearer it becomes. You begin to sense what is right without explanation. You move not because of fear, but because of flow. You learn that when something feels forced, it is not aligned. And when something feels calm yet certain, it is the way forward. That is the teaching of this 13 November. That peace is the sign of truth. Trusting the inner pull also means trusting timing. The universe does not rush, and neither should you. If something is meant for you, awareness will keep guiding you toward it, again and again, until you are ready to receive it. The signs will repeat, the opportunities will reappear, because life is patient with your awakening. But if you ignore the inner pull too long, it fades into silence, waiting for your attention to return. This day calls you to listen again, to reconnect with what you already know deep down. The greatest clarity in life does not come from external advice. It comes from internal stillness. You already carry the answers you seek, but they can only rise when you stop searching outside of yourself. The 13 November energy opens that space, a moment between doing and being, between confusion and knowing. Step into that space and you will feel it. The quiet pull, the subtle nudge, the gentle direction that has always been there. When you trust the inner pull, you become aligned with life's intelligence. You move not through fear, but through faith. You stop asking what if it's wrong and begin feeling this feels right. You begin to understand that awareness itself never misleads. Only doubt distorts it. Every great change, every awakening begins with a single moment of trust. So on this 13 November, don't wait for proof. Don't wait for everything to make sense. Trust the feeling that keeps returning, the thought that won't fade, the inner call that keeps asking for your attention. That is not coincidence, it is guidance. Follow it gently, let it shape your steps. The signs are not random, they echo the direction of your own awareness. When you trust the inner pull, life begins to flow in harmony. The right moments align effortlessly, and what once seemed uncertain now feels inevitable. The journey becomes lighter, the vision becomes clear. This is how awareness moves, quietly but with perfect precision. Let this 13 November be the day you finally trust it completely. Let it be the day you stop doubting your own guidance. Because the truth has always been inside you, whispering the same message through every sign, every silence, every breath. It's your call, and it's time to follow it. 13 November is not just another day, it is a point of awakening. A moment where awareness rises above confusion, where silence begins to speak, where the unseen becomes clear. This day holds the energy of remembrance, the remembrance of who you truly are and how deeply connected you are to life itself. The signs that appear today are not random. They are mirrors reflecting your own readiness to awaken. When you see them, when you feel them, it means something inside you is calling you to return to yourself. Awakening does not happen through noise. It happens through awareness. It is not about becoming something new, but about remembering what has always been within you. 13 November invites you to slow down and see the patterns that life is showing. Every repeated number, every coincidence, every subtle nudge is not an accident. They are threads of meaning guiding you toward a deeper understanding. This day carries the vibration of realization that you are not lost, you are being guided, that you are not behind, you are right where you need to be. When awareness deepens, life begins to move differently. Things that once disturbed you lose their power. You begin to see beyond the surface. You start to notice how everything connects, how even the smallest experiences are part of a larger design. 13 November holds that reminder. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Every delay, every detour, every pain you faced has been part of the same awakening. You were not being punished, you were being prepared to see with clarity. Awakening is not a sudden explosion of light. It is a gentle unfolding. It starts when you begin to question your automatic reactions, when you stop living from habit and start living from awareness. 13 November brings that space, a stillness between your old patterns and your new vision. It's a moment when your inner voice becomes louder than the world's noise. That is when awakening begins, not in external achievement, but in inner realization. There comes a time when you can no longer ignore what life is showing you. The same lessons repeat until they are learned. The same signs appear until they are understood. The same patterns return until awareness breaks them. 13 November is that time, the time to finally see, to see not with your eyes but with your understanding, to recognize that awareness itself is the key to freedom. When you see clearly, you no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer wait for signs, you become one. The world you experience is a reflection of your state of consciousness. When you awaken, that reflection changes. The chaos that once surrounded you begins to settle. The noise that once controlled you fades into silence, and in that silence, you find peace. This is the transformation 13 November brings, from confusion to clarity, from fear to trust, from seeking to knowing. The more you awaken, the more you realize that life has always been guiding you gently, waiting for you to notice. You don't need to force awakening. You only need to allow it. Awareness grows naturally when you stop resisting what is. 13 November carries the wisdom of surrender, to let go of control, to trust the rhythm of your journey, to accept that what you are experiencing is exactly what you need for your growth. Awareness cannot bloom in resistance, it blooms in acceptance. When you accept this moment fully, you open the door to understanding everything that follows. The signs around you are not meant to impress you, they are meant to awaken you. When you begin to live with awareness, even the ordinary becomes sacred. A word, a look, a sound, everything begins to carry meaning. Life starts to move in harmony with your awareness. That is the beauty of this 13 November. It is a day when awareness aligns with destiny. What you notice today is not by chance. It is your call to step into higher understanding. You will begin to sense that the answers you have been searching for have always lived within you. The world outside only reflects what you already carry inside. The signs, the numbers, the moments, they are confirmations, not instructions. They don't tell you what to do, they remind you of what you already know. November is the day to trust that knowing fully. This awakening is not a destination, it is a continuous deepening. Each moment of awareness leads to another. Each realization opens another layer of truth. The more you awaken, the more you see how connected everything is. You begin to understand that there is no separation between you and life, that the signs you notice are not from outside forces, but from the same energy that breathes through you. On this 13 November, let awareness be your light. Let it guide you through confusion and into stillness. Let it show you that what you call coincidence is actually communication. Life speaks in patterns, and awareness is the ear that can hear it. The more aware you become, the less you need to control. The more you trust, the clearer the signs appear. This is the natural order of awakening. Clarity replaces confusion, presence replaces fear, trust replaces doubt. Today is not about seeking something new, it is about remembering something eternal. The light you are looking, for is already within you. The signs you see are reflections of that light trying to reach the surface. Let this 13 November be the day you recognize it, the day you stop waiting for change to happen and realize it is already happening within you, the day you stop chasing meaning and start living with it. Awakening is not a gift given to a few, it is a state waiting for everyone. You awaken the moment you decide to see. You awaken the moment you choose awareness over distraction. You awaken the moment you realize the universe has been guiding you all along. 13 November stands as that moment, the quiet turning point when you understand that nothing is random, that every sign is a call, and that the call has always been your own soul asking you to wake up.